Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel for another thrift store makeover, kind of. This is a two-part video, technically, sadly. As you can see here, I have this watermelon themed bowl, I believe. I'm pretty sure it's a bowl. My mom gave it to me with the knife that, I think it's a knife, that was also watermelon themed that she found or bought. I'm not exactly sure, but she gave it to me to paint because she knew I would love it, and she was in fact right. I don't think this knife and this bowl are a set, but I really want them to be a set, so I'm going to be painting them as a set. So I'm going to be using the same paint and same colors on both of them. But for today, I'm only going to be focusing on this bowl because, believe it or not, it's going to take a while to do one bowl. And you know, there's nothing inherently wrong with this bowl. I just don't like the vertical or the horizontal stripes. I'm pretty sure they're supposed to be vertical on a real watermelon. And the red on the inside's very like bright, whereas the outside's a lot more muted. But before I can start painting, I sanded it down the best I could to try to remove some of that glossy finish. It didn't really work, so I definitely do need a couple coats of some gesso, one for a white base coat and two to make sure the paint that I'm going to be using will adhere to the surface. I am just going to be using regular acrylic paint, and they are going to be slightly pastel. So the gesso is really important because since it is a shiny, glossy surface, I don't want the paint peeling off or anything like that. And so I painted both the inside and outside with like one or two coats, and it's not, you know, fully white, but I just didn't want to waste more time with more gesso. I was really excited to get into the painting this time around. And since I'm going to be doing somewhat similar colors, I didn't think it would be that big of a deal. And so I'm actually starting with the inside. I am doing red, you know, the traditional watermelon color, but this red is a lot more pastel than the original red that it had, because I do want the inside and outside to match better than the original design had. And I will be using this exact same paint on the spreading knife thing on next week's video. Next week's video will be the part 2 of this. But back to focusing on the bowl, I'm painting the outside with a nice pastelish green. And I think this already looks so much better just because the inside and the outside colors match a lot better. And I was very lucky where I only had to do 2 coats of paint of color to get a nice opaque color. Normally I have to do like 2 or 3, but this time it was only 2. And I am painting all the way around the bowl. The original didn't have the bottom part painted, and I really didn't like that. It made it look very unfinished. And after 2 coats, this is what it's looking like. I mixed up a lighter green to do kind of like the lines that you see on watermelons. But this time I am doing them going the right way. Before it was like horizontal, but I'm pretty sure it has to be, or it's supposed to be vertical. I feel like vertical lines look better. And I just freehanded this with my paintbrush. I feel like watermelon stripes don't really always have a very uniform look to them, so I didn't even try to make it uniform. And I feel like this just really added to the whole watermelon theme, and it just really made everything look more complete, in my opinion, especially on the outside. I feel like for the inside with the red, it's like this red and the seeds that make it look watermelon, and then on the outside it's the watermelon stripes. And speaking on seeds, I personally hate when a watermelon has a ton of seeds. But for the purpose of this design, I added a lot of seeds. My intention wasn't to add a lot of them, but I got carried away. And I made them into hearts because I just wanted to be cute, and I thought it would look cute if they were heart-shaped seeds. But I did think I went a little bit overboard with the amount of seeds I placed. But I think it really adds to the overall watermelon appeal. This is just a bowl, but I wanted it to kind of look like an actual half of a watermelon. And I first tried doing this with the paintbrush, but I felt like the dotting tool would be better, and it was a lot easier. But once all of that was dry, I have one last step to do before I add any varnish or shiny coats or anything like that. And that last step is putting my initials and the date. I don't always do the date if there isn't space, but I just felt like I should this time. And so I just put on my initials with the same red paint to kind of tie in the outside and the inside together. And now, once that is fully dried, I need to protect this and give it some shine. For the inside, I only did a matte Mod Podge just to give it some protection. The glossy stuff can tend to be sticky, and in case I decide to put something in this bowl, I don't want it to get like stuck or peel off or anything. But for the outside, I am doing a glossy Mod Podge, so it does have some shine on the outside. And this is how the final project came out. Believe it or not, this took a lot longer than I had anticipated, and I dropped it like 3 or 4 times, and it luckily didn't break on me. It hasn't broken yet, but it did take a lot longer than I thought it would. But I really love how it turned out, and I'm very excited to see how it looks with the knife that I have that I'll be painting next week. And I really hope you all enjoyed this thrift store makeover and like how it turned out. I just really like it a lot better now than it originally was. But bye!